I was but one of the few chosen to introduce and guide the arriving humans through the ship. I was one of many others, but each of us was assigned each their own human at random. Like many of the others that had been assigned to guide the humans through the ship and show them around, explaining schedules and so on, I was nervous. None of us had any experience with human interaction, nor had ever seen a human in person. We had only seen pictures and been told stories. While I continued to mentally prepare myself for what was to come, a human approached me. He was a male and by human standards was known as European, which from the little of what I knew of humans, meant that he was born in a certain region of their homeworld. The human introduced himself as Jack, as he extended his hand to me. I was puzzled by his gesture, as I could only assume that you're supposed to extend your hand when speaking his name. A unique pronunciation, I thought. Looking around, I could tell that the humans that had been assigned to the other guys were of a smaller stature compared to Jack. Looking back at Jack, it was only now I noticed what I had first thought were tumors on his limbs and torso. I felt obligated to offer him help if the tumors troubled him in any way. Jack responded with a puzzled expression and response, clearly not understanding what I had meant. Trying to explain it to him, I pointed to the tumor on his arm that expanded every time he bent the limb. After a pause, Jack threw his head back and opened his mouth to let out a sound that I had no clue of what it meant. Once the sound died down and Jack had seemingly composed himself, he shook his head before explaining to me that he was a bodybuilder before coming to the ship. Curious, I asked what he meant by him having been a bodybuilder, only being able to assume he was assigned to build humans. He explained that he once lifted heavy objects regularly to make what I now know was actually his muscles, and not tumors. Still a bit uncertain on what he meant, I asked if he could explain a bit more, and possibly show the process. He nodded and asked me to lead into a place where there were heavy objects he could lift, and that he would explain on the way. Letting my curiosity get the better of me, I agreed, and began to lead him to the storage room. As we moved to the storage room, Jack explained that by lifting weights, humans tore apart these muscles. Of course, I was caught off guard that humans like Jack intentionally destroyed their own bodies, but I continued to listen to him as he explained that the muscles would regenerate themselves with the nutrient protein that they got from the food they eat, and that the muscles would come back both stronger and bigger. Before I could respond and ask more, we arrived at the storage, and he eagerly asked me to point out where the heaviest things were stored. I pointed to a box near the center of the room, and he excitedly walked up to it. After opening the box, nothing could have prepared me for what I would see next. As Jack seemingly carelessly rummaged through the box, I saw him lift up a container of Itronix. It would have taken 4 clones of myself to lift the container only a centimeter off the floor, and Jack just picked it up as if it were a paperweight. After having witnessed the true strength of humans, and had finished guiding Jack through the rest of the ship, I reminded myself to never, under any circumstance, annoy a human.